How's it going, guys? I'm Connor from Running Warehouse, and I'm here with Paul Lang, Senior Global Product Manager at ASICS. Today, we've got the new Novablast 5 in front of us. We've been talking about this recently, but what makes it so special is the foam underneath. We've got the new Blast Max. It's soft, it's bouncy, it's fun. It's really taking the Novablast from a good shoe to one of the best shoes in the category. Can you tell us what makes this foam so special?
Yeah, so, the Novablast has always been that shoe that's about a little bit more energy, excitement. It's as much of a feeling and emotion about running as it is just a true shoe. So where you've got shoes like Nimbus that are soft, that are plush, this is still an everyday runner, but it's to give a little bit more bounce, a little bit more energy. And where that's coming from is this FF Blast Max. So it's a completely new foam underfoot. We teased it a little bit in the GlideRide Max. It was the top layer in that shoe. Here, you're gonna get it for the full midsole. So the way that it's able to work is the full midsole, the way the geometries are built, we maintain that trampoline pod in the forefoot. And so the foam is all about this soft, bouncy experience. It's a little bit different than what we've used in the past. Traditionally we've used, EVA blends or on the high-end PIBAs. This kind of falls in the middle. It's a polyolefin foam, so it's a little bit different, and it really differentiates some of those experiences that we've got on the line. So Novablast is able to kind of fast forward from version 4 into a little bit of a bouncier shoe than we were previously, and we've shaved 5 grams.
Wow.
So we lost some weight, gave you some bounce.
Yeah, you're right, Paul. The soft bounciness is what makes this shoe so special, and it really does differentiate it between the Nimbus. The Nimbus, it's plush, you sink into it, it's a great cruiser. This, you can cruise in, but you can also pick up the pace in. Really dynamic, really versatile. This is a fun shoe. Now, we talked about GlideRide Max. It had a top layer of this foam. Definitely a nice introduction. Are we gonna see Blast Max make it into some other models?
So that's one of the things we're looking at right now is, what foams make what sense for what shoes and what consumers. The goal is that every shoe in the line has a different purpose. We don't want to start having all the shoes feel the same, look the same, have the same stack heights. So we'll continue to kind of explore. We like to think of it almost like a golf bag. You have your driver, you have your putter, you've got some wood, some irons. Each of these shoes should serve a pretty specific purpose. So as we explore further, what some of those purposes, those usage occasions are, you'll see Blast Max work its way into the line, but we want to be very intentional about where and why.
And it's so fun to see the new innovation with foams. Everything is getting lighter and bouncier. We're seeing super foams on the race side. We're seeing super foams make it over to daily training. How important are foams for ASICS, and what could we potentially see in the future of the foam space?
Yeah, foam has changed completely, what we wear. And it's really interesting because I think people have a tendency to get caught up in the name behind a foam as opposed to what the foam's doing in the experience. And so, each of these foams can be unlocked in different ways. They can be made in different ways. And so for us at each levels of each of these foams, we want to explore what the limits of it are and continue to give completely differentiated experiences. So when we look at something like Cumulus or Nimbus, it's going to be a lot different than what we're going to look at Novablast or Superblast. And then when we get to Metaspeed or even something, like a Magic Speed, each of those should have a purpose, a place, and a true reasoning for being. And that's our intent with the line. So while Blast Max is giving us that energetic bounce here right now, all the other shoes kind of have their own foam purposes for their own reasons.
Well, Blast Max is really pushing the limits for modern day trainers. But let's look towards the future. We don't need to go into specifics, but do you think with super foams being as bouncy and light as they've been over the past couple years, do you think we can push further in that space? Do you think there's still room to gain a few more percentage points for your elite athletes?
Yeah, for the elite athletes, we're always chasing. So, you look from the Olympic trials, the Olympic Games, the Fall World Marathon Majors, you're watching evolutions on the feet of ASICS athletes at every single one of those races. We're never gonna stop chasing podiums. You're never gonna, you're always chasing zero, right? In terms of what the clock says. We're never gonna quite get there, but we get a little bit closer. So from an innovation standpoint, our C project team is really pushing the way on Metaspeed and some of those. We see some of that technology cascade into shoes like Superblast. Traditionally, the innovative racing foam and Metaspeed has made its way to Superblast. You'll continue to see that cascade, and I think it's really a waterfall. As that top part of the mountain, gets higher and higher, that trickle-down effect of technology really lights up, what some of the other shoes are capable of doing. So at the end of all of that, the most important thing, though, is that we're focused on the consumer. What's the consumer telling us they want? What's the consumer looking for? You know, are we providing an experience that the consumer wants and is going to enjoy? And so that's our number one goal, is to make the consumer happy. And so foam's a way to do that. We want to make sure we do it the right way and the respectful way.
Yeah, you know, this really is an exciting time to be in the running shoe space. You guys are nailing foams for every single runner out there, from your normal runners like you and I to the elites like Clayton Young, going for Olympic medals. You're pushing the boundaries, and it's exciting to see what's to come. For people looking to try out the Novablast 5, it's out now and a lot more fun to come.
Yeah, we can't wait to get this on your feet. The journey from FF Blast Plus Eco to FF Blast Max to FF Turbo Plus, and then whatever's coming next. But right now, FF Blast Max and Novablast 5.
You can find it here at Running Warehouse.